I loved him the way people warn you not to love anyone. Without conditions. Without suspicion. Without keeping a piece of myself hidden for safety. I loved him blindly. When I met Daniel, I was 26 and finally convinced that love didn't have to hurt. He was gentle in ways I wasn't used to. He listened when I spoke, remembered small details, touched my hand as if it mattered. After a childhood of chaos and a few careless relationships, he felt like peace. The kind you want to protect. I told my best friend, Maya, everything about him. Every late-night text. Every argument. Every plan I had imagined in my head but was too scared to say out loud. Maya had been my person since college. We shared clothes, secrets, trauma, and dreams. She knew my history with abandonment, how deeply betrayal cut me. If there was one person I believed would never hurt me, it was her. Daniel became part of our world quickly. Weekend dinners, movie nights, inside jokes. The three of us laughing on my couch, sharing wine, talking about the future like it was guaranteed. I remember thinking how lucky I was to have a man who loved me and a friend who supported us. I didn't know I was slowly handing them both the knife. At first, there were small moments that felt off. Glances I couldn't explain. Conversations that stopped when I entered the room. Maya suddenly knowing things about Daniel I hadn't told her. Daniel laughing at her jokes a little too hard. Standing a little too close. But I trusted them. When my instincts whispered, I silenced them. I told myself I was projecting old wounds onto a healthy situation. I didn't want to be the insecure girlfriend. I didn't want to be the jealous friend. I didn't want to ruin something good by imagining something bad. So I smiled. I invited them both over more often. I encouraged their friendship. I told myself love meant trust, and trust meant not questioning people who said they loved you. Then my father got sick. The weeks blurred into hospital corridors and sleepless nights. Daniel held me when I cried, promised he wasn't going anywhere. Maya drove me to appointments, brought food, sat with me when I couldn't sit alone. They became my support system. I didn't realize that while I was falling apart, they were growing closer. It started with missed calls. Daniel saying he was tired, that work had been stressful. Maya canceling plans last minute, claiming she wasn't feeling well. I noticed they were texting more, but I told myself it was normal. They were checking on each other because they cared about me. One night, after a long day at the hospital, I came home early. Earlier than I had told anyone. I unlocked my apartment quietly, exhausted. Already planning to collapse into bed. That's when I heard laughter. Not just laughter. Intimate laughter. The kind that comes from shared secrets, from comfort. It drifted from the living room, warm and familiar, and for a moment I smiled. I thought maybe they had come to surprise me. Then I heard my name. Softly. Casually. Spoken in a way that made my chest tighten. I walked forward, every step feeling heavier than the last, and turned the corner. Daniel was sitting on the couch. Maya was sitting on him. Her arms were around his neck. His hands were on her waist. Their foreheads touched like this was something they had done 100 times before. They didn't see me at first. I watched the man I loved kiss my best friend like he wasn't betraying anyone. Like I didn't exist. Like my pain wasn't waiting just a few feet away. When Maya finally looked up and saw me, her face went white. Daniel froze, his hands still on her body. No one spoke. I think something inside me broke so cleanly that it didn't even hurt at first. I remember asking, how long, in a voice that didn't sound like mine. Daniel stood up, stammering excuses, saying it wasn't what it looked like, that he never meant for this to happen. Maya started crying immediately, saying she was confused, that she didn't plan it, that she loved me. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't cry. I just told them both to leave. After they were gone, I sat on the floor for hours, staring at nothing. My body felt hollow, like someone had scooped me out and forgotten to put anything back. The silence was louder than their laughter had been. In the days that followed, the truth came out in pieces I didn't want. It had been going on for months. Emotional at first. Texts late at night. Complaints about me when I was too sad or too busy. Comfort that crossed lines. then physical. They told themselves it was accidental, that they didn't want to hurt me, that they were waiting for the right time to tell me. What they meant was they were waiting until they couldn't hide it anymore. Daniel begged me to forgive him, said he loved me, that Maya meant nothing compared to what we had. Maya begged too, saying she was ashamed, that she hated herself, that she would do anything to fix it. I lost two people in one moment. The man I loved betrayed my trust. The woman who knew my deepest fears became the person who lived them out. I cut them both off. No dramatic goodbye. No closure conversations. I blocked numbers, deleted photos, removed them from my life like infected wounds. People told me I was strong for that. I didn't feel strong. I felt numb. The grief came later. It came in waves, while grocery shopping, when I reached for my phone, when a song played that reminded me of a happier version of myself. I mourned not just the relationship, but the future I had built around it. The version of me who believed love was safe. Some nights, I blamed myself. I told myself I should have seen it sooner. That loving blindly was a flaw. That trusting people so deeply made me foolish. I replayed every moment, searching for the exact second where I could have stopped it. But healing has a way of teaching you uncomfortable truths. I learned that betrayal says more about the betrayer than the one betrayed. That loyalty isn't proven by words, but by boundaries. That love doesn't require self-abandonment. Months passed. Slowly, painfully, I started to feel like myself again. Not the same self. This one was quieter, more cautious, but also stronger. I learned to sit with my loneliness instead of filling it with familiar pain. One afternoon, I ran into Maya at a cafe. She looked smaller somehow. Tired. She tried to smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. She told me she and Daniel hadn't lasted. That guilt and mistrust destroyed them. That she lost me and him. I listened without satisfaction. I realized I didn't need revenge. Their consequences weren't mine to carry. I wished her well and walked away. That was the moment I knew I had healed more than I thought. I don't regret loving blindly. I regret that they couldn't see the value of being loved that way. Today, I love differently. With boundaries. With self-respect. With awareness. But I still love deeply because bitterness doesn't deserve to live where love once did. They took my trust, but they didn't take my capacity to love. And that is something they will never have over me again.